do that, if you look at your manual, information, there's a coordinate formula, and depending on the hemisphere you're in, you have to set it up, and it's followed by latitude and longitude, and there are different ways that you can measure. So use this button, the gauge button, go to the menu, and when you get to the menu, select Setup. It's got a wrench. And then use this last button here, called the thumb button of the toggle, and push in. Okay. Do you have a setup menu when you push in, and you find a little ruler? That says units. Find a little ruler on the setup menu.
This toggles. You go down to setup. No, right there. That one. There you go.
Once you have the unit selected, hold it up. If anybody needs help.
Push it to the side. You have to push like straight down, or it'll go.
We're going to talk about that
else.
before we go to the next step too.
Yeah.
That's really important.
Yeah, that you got to talk about before you tell them where to go, or you get kids all over the place.
No, kids can do it. Adults can't.
Oh, trust me, they get in the most bizarre locations.
No, but I mean, I'm talking about pushing the button.
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
If you don't tell them, when you say go to setup, if you don't have that discussion before you go to setup, they end up all over the place.
All right. On the position format, does everybody have HDD degrees and then MM.MMM? Okay. That means that we're measuring our units in degrees and minutes. Okay. And then once the minutes get more fine, once the minutes get very detailed, they go into decimal minutes. They don't go into what? They don't go into seconds. Okay. The reason we're doing that is because geocaching actually uses that in most of their systems, and I think Google Earth and some of the other places that you use also use degree and decimal minutes. Okay. You can use just degrees. I prefer just degrees, decimals. Forget the minutes, forget the seconds. But you have to be consistent, okay? And if you are given information in degrees only, like it might be like 78.41115 degrees, if you go in here and change it to degrees and minutes, you'll get the right, it'll change for you. It does that internally for you. So keep that in mind, but you have to know where you're at. Also, it says map datum is WGS84, okay? That is the one that we typically use. I think, Jim, am I right? Isn't that the one that's used in topographic maps? WGS84?
Well, again, you can get topo maps in a variety. A lot of the topos are actually done in UTMs.
Oh, UTM?
So that's a whole separate system.
Okay, but UTM is another selection, but we're using WGS84. It's a very common system, most commonly used for the handheld units. And it'll give us latitude and longitude information. Okay? So all the rest are things that you can change. Most of ours are in statute, feet, minutes, rather than metric. Okay? Once that all looks good, hit the page button again, and what happens? Back to the setup menu, hit it again, and then what happens? Main menu, okay?